I don't want to look at the time because I don't want to see that it's 3 a.m. because I don't want to get in my own head. So I'm just laying there and I'm like, fall back asleep. And I kept getting this feeling that someone was like staring at me. And I don't know if y'all ever get that feeling like someone's looking at you. And a lot of the times you're right. If you look around, you'll see someone looking at you and then they look away really fast.
Yeah.
I felt that laying in bed at night, and that was creeping me out.
The worst time to feel it. Yeah.
And so I'm like keeping my eyes closed. I'm like, I don't even want to look. I don't want to see someone looking at me. I don't want to see someone in this room. And I keep hoping that like I hear my dog Juliet start walking around, because if I hear her walking around and she's not like barking or anything, then I'm like, I'm good. There's nothing in here. So I lay there long enough to where I'm like, okay, I'm not falling back asleep. This isn't happening. So I want to take a melatonin to go back to sleep.
Mellow out.
So pop the melatonin.
Oh.
And when I do that, I decide first I need the light to reach for the melatonin on the nightstand. So I hit the light and I look down. Of course, it's 2:45 a.m. I'm like, cool, 15 minutes to 3. If I'm not asleep,
here?
Yeah. If I'm not asleep in 15 minutes, it's going down. And pop the melatonin, and I lay there and I'm thinking about it, and I feel the melatonin start kicking in probably about 15 minutes later, I would say. Okay. So at this point, this is the first time that I'm falling asleep into sleep paralysis versus waking up during it, like waking up and being frozen. I felt myself, before my brain went to sleep, I felt my arms going like numb and paralyzed.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh, no. So I start kicking my foot and I shake myself out of it. And I do this a couple of times where I feel myself going paralyzed and I'm kicking myself out of it. Because I'm like, I don't want that to happen.
Give in to it, Josh.
And
I'm
then,
just like dead asleep and
Yes.
struggling.
as I'm fighting the sleep paralysis, I start hearing around the room little like whisper, and I can't make out what they're saying. Just, and I was like, no. I'm not hearing that right now. I'm not hearing that. It's because I'm starting to fall asleep, but I'm not asleep yet, and I'm kicking out the sleep paralysis still, and I'm hearing this, and it stops for a second, and then I hear right in front of my face, "Did you hear that?" And I'm like, okay, that was not Kristen. It should be Kristen because Kristen's right here.
But it was her voice?
It sounded like her voice, but it was a whisper, so it was hard to tell. So it's like it was a female voice whispering. Maybe it was the "don't go back." Maybe it was her, and she didn't like that I was talking about her. But it goes, "Did you hear that?" And I don't respond because I'm like, you don't respond to ghost. You just you pretend it's not happening and it goes away. And I'm like, this isn't Kristen. This is something else. And I don't respond. And then it goes, look.
Where?
Look. And I go, no. Well, actually I go, because I couldn't get the no out because I'm still in a half sleep state.
Boy, moaning over there.
And yeah, I refused to open my eyes. I did not look. I kept my eyes closed, and eventually I fall asleep, I'm guessing, because next thing you know, Kristen is like coming in there because she's leaving for work before me. And Kristen's going in there to be like, hey, I'm leaving, bye, and give me a kiss and all that. And when she's standing in the doorway, like, I don't remember this. But Kristen said, I look at her and I go, are you okay? And you go, yeah? And what'd you say after that?
I said, yeah, why? He said, you're acting weird. I was like, I'm fine. And then he just like stares at me. And I was like, you're the one that's acting weird.
You're acting weird. Which I'm guessing is because in my brain I was still like, was that Kristen going, look. So I had talked about sleep paralysis episode that I had where I heard someone whispering at me. First they said, did you hear that? And then they said, look. Okay, so my sister, Jessica, commented on this. And she says, Josh, about 4 to 5 months ago, for like 3 nights straight, I kept waking up around 2:30 a.m. to whispering. Dead silence in the house, of course, but a voice saying, "Hey," and "Look," in a whisper. And then I was convincing myself I'm listening to the silence too hard and imagining it. But now, since she heard the episode, she's like, "Wait, what?" Like,
I'd be so like upset if my sibling was hearing like the same. I'm like trying to rationalize it in my head, and then like my siblings experiencing the same thing.
Exactly.
So maybe it wasn't sleep paralysis for you. Maybe you were
Could've been
actually
something.
hearing that,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
following kind of your family, like.
Yeah, because in following that, okay, just if you're watching this, you need to let me know if this is something you did to mess with me when I was younger. It's okay. Or if this actually happened, because this reminded me. Me and Jessica had bedrooms right next to each other, and my mom's room was across the hall. And one night when I'm sleeping, I heard someone whispering my name, saying, "Josh, Josh." And I jumped up out of the bed, and I run out of my room, and I run across the hall. And as I'm running across the hall, I see Jessica coming out of her room, running across the hall too. And we both go into my mom's room, and like at the same time, we're like, "Someone's whispering my name." And I don't know, Jessica, if you were messing with me and whispering my name and wanted to run in at the same time, which is what I told myself later in life, thinking about that story, I'm like, "Oh, she was messing with me." But now that we're older and we're both hearing whispering still, what is after us?